Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. In accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, adequate notice of this meeting has been provided as follows. On April 28, 2016, notice was sent to the Home News Tribune, Star Ledger, local source, and the clerk of the municipality. By state law, there is no smoking permitted in this building at any time. In addition to the listed items in this agenda, this Board of Education may discuss and act upon other items not specifically referred to herein as is allowed at the regularly scheduled monthly board meeting under the Sunshine Law.
Roll call.
Mrs. Villani? Present. Mr. Alvarez?
Here.
Mrs. Beviano?
Present.
Mrs. Birch? Here. Ms. Slater?
Present.
Mr. Walrath? Mr. Colibus?
Excuse.
Mr. Topoleski?
Here.
Mrs. Hudak?
Here. Approval of minutes for the Committee of the Whole and the regular meeting on Wednesday, August 24th, 2016.
So moved.
Second. Roll call.
Sorry. That's okay. My pen ran out of ink. Mrs. Villani?
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes.
Mrs. Beviano?
Yes.
Mrs. Birch? Yes. Ms. Slater?
Yes.
Mr. Walrath? Mr. Topoleski?
Yes.
Mrs. Hudak?
Yes. Comments from the public, agenda items only. Seeing none, superintendent's report.
Thank you, Madam President. Good evening, everyone. I want to just begin tonight by giving our very brief HIV report. We did have one HIV incident reported over the summer. It was validated as being a harassment, intimidation, bullying incident, and actions taken included counseling and referral to an alternative program. We've had a pretty successful opening to the school year. Our back-to-school nights have been overwhelmingly successful. The amount of parents who've come out to meet their teachers, to see our buildings. Our buildings were extremely well maintained over the summer. They're clean and welcoming back for our students. We have a couple more back-to-school nights left. Tomorrow night, schools 5 and 8, and on Thursday night, schools 1 and 10. I'd like to take a moment to commend the Linden Police Department for their actions last Monday, especially the officers who were wounded in a shootout with the perpetrator who was suspected of planting bombs in Toms River, New Jersey, in Elizabeth, and in New York City. I think sometimes we take our police officers for granted, and I know there's a lot of controversy in our country right now dealing with several police issues, but I know here in Linden, we all appreciate the fact that our police responded, and when we call, they're there. We're very appreciative and very thankful to the entire Linden Police Department. And I just wanted to share a letter that was written to a Linden police officer. Some of you may know, some of you were there last Thursday. We had Officer Angel Padilla visit school number 5. Several of the students there wrote get well cards for him. He was the officer who was shot. Thankfully, he was wearing his bulletproof vest. And this note kind of sums up, I think, there's that saying, from the mouths of babes, they tell the truth. So this note was very sweet. I want to share it with you. This is from a 3rd grade student. Dear Officer Angel, you came to school on my birthday, and you are the best present. Mrs. Suggs said you were okay, but when you really hugged me, you were okay! Exclamation point. I'm so glad you're okay, and your hugs are like Olaf's hugs. Does everybody know who Olaf is?
Yes.
I like Olaf's hugs because they are warm. But Olaf is supposed to be cold. But he is a special snowman, like you're a special officer, because you saved us at School 5. Love, the student's name. Mrs. Sun's class third grade. So I just thought it was the cutest thing I've ever read. And I guess anybody to be compared to Olaf is a pretty good thing. I have a couple of certificates and people in the audience tonight that I'd like to recognize, so I'm going to come down to the podium. Board members, if you have certificates, when I call the person, that you would join me down there. We have a few special guests here tonight. One who's not wearing a tiara, but she probably should be, because Thursday is her 100th birthday. It is my, and it's our, distinct honor to have Mrs. Bernice Bedrick with us tonight. Mrs. Bedrick is here tonight to receive a Lifetime Achievement Award from the Board of Education in Linden Public Schools. Mrs. Bedrick is a retired educator from the Linden Public School District who will be celebrating her 100th birthday on Thursday. I'd like to share some interesting facts about our Mrs. Bedrick. Well, she's very smart. So much so that when she was in high school, she skipped a year and graduated as valedictorian of her high school at the age of 16. She received a bachelor's degree with high honors in bacteriology and chemistry from the University of Maryland and earned her master's degree in education from NYU. Mrs. Bedrick began her career in the Linden Public School District on May 1st, 1950, as a kindergarten teacher at school number 5, where she made a whopping salary of $2,250. I'll say it again, $2,250. She later taught at McManus Middle School, then became the supervisor of science in our district, and she was appointed the principal of school number 6, a place I hold near and dear to my heart as I served as the principal there for a short time. That was in 1979. Mrs. Bedrick retired in 1987. In addition to her service to our schools, Mrs. Bedrick formed the Linden section of the National Council of Jewish Women, where she organized local women to record talking books for blind adults and children. That program was later expanded statewide. She also established the Linden Mental Health Clinic, which offered employment to the mentally disabled. She was the founder and former president of the Friends of the Linden Library. I know we have some friends here tonight. She was also she was the founder and former president of the Friends, and also was named the Outstanding Senior Citizen of the Year for the City of Linden. Mrs. Bedrick, it is truly our honor to have you present tonight. As you celebrate your 100th birthday, please know that our school district still appreciates you, and we appreciate all you've done in your lifetime for our children and our community. So please accept this Lifetime Achievement Award from Mrs. Hudak, our Board of Education President, along with a very small birthday gift. We have a few students tonight here who the board would like to recognize. First, we have maybe the cutest little 6-year-old I've ever seen with a tiara. A young lady by the name of Miss Savannah Solano. Savannah, would you come up and stand next to me while I talk about you? So, Miss Savannah Solano, ladies and gentlemen, is the daughter of Mr. David Solano and Mrs. Nicole Solano. And she's been selected to represent New Jersey at the 2016 Miss American Princess Pageant, which is a tremendous, tremendous honor. At that pageant, she will compete against all the other state princesses for the national title. Isn't that right, Savannah? Yes. She attends school number 9 as a 2nd grader. She loves math and arts. She hopes to someday be a veterinarian because of her love for animals. And she also dreams of one day becoming Miss America. She's a little girl with big dreams from Linden. She loves competing in pageants and has been doing so since she was 4, winning several titles. She loves singing, dancing, and cheerleading. And she also loves volunteering any chance she gets. Do you want to sing? I'm joking. No, stay here, stay with me. You don't have to sing. I didn't mean to scare you. I scare little children sometimes. She is very excited and honored to be representing New Jersey as she embarks on this new journey. She received the state title, First Place Talent, First Place in Modeling, Volunteer Service Award, Academic Achievement Award. That's why you're here tonight. Academic Achievement Award, Personality Award, which was voted by the girls in her division, Best Dress, Best Smile, Best Eyes, Best Hair, Best Interview Suit, and Best School District. So Savannah, we're happy to have you here tonight. We have Mrs. Birch, a member of our Board of Education, has a certificate to give you. I'm going to give you the certificate and we're going to take the next picture, okay? Congratulations. Present tonight with us also receiving something that all Linden High School students want, a certificate from the Linden Board of Education signed by the board president and myself, is Miss Ariana Moore, age 16, daughter of Mr. Kinley Moore and Mrs. Shalik Moore of Linden, who happens to be one of our outstanding teachers. And Ariana is here tonight because she has been selected to represent the entire state of New Jersey at the 2016 Miss American Junior Teen Pageant. That's what she is. As the representative from New Jersey, Ariana will be attending the national pageant in Florida at Walt Disney World during the Thanksgiving break. She will compete for the national pageant title of Miss America Junior Teen and has the opportunity to win thousands of dollars in cash, awards, and scholarships. And I know Mom would be very happy if we get some scholarship money. Nationwide state winners and state pageant finalists will compete in the 33rd Annual National Scholarship Competition organized by American Co-Ed Pageants. And since 1983, millions of dollars in cash, awards, and prizes have been presented to outstanding girls in state and national competitions. The purpose of this, it's not about beauty, although she's beautiful. It's not about her dress. It's about the kind of young lady that this student is. And I can speak from personal experience. I've known Ariana since school 9, and I'm so incredibly, incredibly proud of her for who she is, for what she represents, and for making the Linden School District proud. So Ariana, we have a certificate for you. Would you please come up and receive your certificate from Mrs. Debiano? Mom, want a quick picture? Sure. Thank you. And last but not least, this is something that doesn't happen too often. Normally, when I get an email from a student, there's something wrong. There's a problem that they want me to look into or they want me to fix. But not so with this young lady who emailed me at the end of last school year. And I think it's better if you hear the story from her. So, Marie, would you come up and read your letter? This wonderful student who graduated, yes, and is going to school, studying nursing, wrote me a letter about the impact that a teacher had in her life. I think it's better if we hear it from her.
I might get a little emotional. I came here my freshman year. I didn't speak English, and I might get a little emotional, but yeah. I wrote Dr. Albertus a letter about my favorite teacher. One of my favorite teachers. I'm going to just read over the letter. Okay. My name is Marisela Zahidi. I was a senior at Linden High School. I was writing this letter to request to give a certificate to one of the best teachers at Linden High School. Her name is Miss Anna Zulutusha. I recommend this teacher because she has been always there for me since my freshman year. She never tired of giving me advice. She's always telling me to do my best, and I can in everything. She never tired of helping me and her students with their needs. She's one of the best teachers students could ever ask for. I personally wish that I could have her as a teacher for my whole entire year. She is patient with students. She makes sure you understand every single thing she does. She is a good example to all her students. She is very compassionate. She's always busy with her class paper, club activities, but she's never tired or busy to help her students. From my 4 years at Linden High School, like I said, I spoke no English. Having Mrs. Siba as a teacher, I have achieved a lot of goals. I was a student of the month twice. I received lots of honors. I was an ESL student model program. I was in French club, Polish club. I became the first junior international club president, and I was the first international club president to be usually they have it, senior can be president of the international club, but I was the first one to be the junior international president, and I was also the president of my senior year, so that's why. I joined BMAP. I became a student ambassador. Remember? He gave us a lot of food. I got nominated as a student BSL. I joined the leadership program. I become very proud of myself, but I didn't do it by myself. Mrs. Kim, I was always there to push me, and all the teacher I had, and it was glad meeting her back in the high school. Thank you for hiring me.
Board of Education member, Mr. Alex Alvarez.
Good evening. I'm not going to talk for a long time. I just wanted to say that the most rewarding experience that a teacher can have is simply the interactions with students who are truly devoted. Marie is one of them. She was not just the student who I was working with, and she is not, because she's still here and she's still coming to school and she's still supporting us. But she's an exceptional leader. She's an exceptional, young, positive, and ambitious individual who has tremendous impact on other peers. My club members would always listen to her. She was my right hand. I could trust her with anything. And people say, you can replace people very easily. Well, it's very hard to replace Marie. We do have seniors who are very, hardworking, just like her. But it's going to take a long time for me to find the same qualities that she demonstrates. So what I can only say from the bottom of my heart, teachers who work with her right now should be blessed like I was, and they should really appreciate it every single day, because she makes that day. At the end of the day, when we struggle with many different things, and you have a student who comes to you and say, hello, always positive, always smiling, that enlightens everything. So I truly, would like to say thank you to you for all your positive, attitudes, your influence, also on my teaching, because it helps me become better, more motivated to really go an extra mile, do more for them, because I know it's rewarding. So I would like to thank you one more time.
Thank you very much. Marie, it's not the certificate, it's certainly not the flowers, but your letter and your words about your teacher will be forever ingrained in our life, because teachers sometimes don't even realize the impact they have on children. So thank you. Madam President, that concludes my report.
Reports of the standing committees, curriculum and instruction.
Thank you, Madam President. The Curriculum and Instruction Committee, upon recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools and the Assistant Superintendent, present the following 41 motions to the Linden Board of Education for approval. Items 1 through 12 deal with the approval of specialized programs for the placement of classified students, determination of out-of-district placements, the approval of payments and adjustments for related services as per child study team evaluations, the approval of one-on-one paraprofessionals, adjustments to tuition, approval of services from the Commission for the Blind and Visually Impaired, the establishment and continuation of district special education programs, and the approval for transportation. 13 and 14 approve the enrollment of students in out-of-district placements on a tuition basis. 15, 16, and 17 approve home instruction services provided by outside agencies. 18 amends board action on past C&I reports. 19 and 20 grant permission for use of facilities and school activities. 21 approves district field trips. 22 approves training for district staff. 23 approves district mentors.
24 and 25 approve Title I tutoring. 26 approves the school improvement panels for all schools in district. 27 and 28 grant permission for student groups to participate in the Linden Halloween Parade. 29 grants permission for chemistry students to participate in the Chem Expo at Liberty Science Center. 30 grants permission for LHS computer science students to participate in a survey conducted by Trinity College. 31 approves the submission of the FY 2016 NCLB Final Expenditure Report. 32 approves the evaluation form for staff who work the aftercare program. 33 approves the 7 Habits of Highly Effective Teens as part of the middle school seminar program. 34 approves addendums to the 2016-17 Linden High School Student Handbook. 35 grants permission for delayed start of school for seniors at LHS on November 2nd, 2016. Item 36 grants approval for staff to attend in-house professional development sessions throughout the 2016-17 school year. 37 approves a resolution to accept the corrective action plan for the school district that was based on findings from the audit of the Office of Fiscal Accountability and Compliance. Items 38, 39, and 40 proclaim October as National Bullying Prevention Month with a week designated for respect and a week designated for school violence awareness. Item 41 proclaims the month of October as National Principals Month. Madam President, I move curriculum and instruction items 1 through 41 and respectfully seek a second.
Second.
Discussion?
Roll call.
Mrs. Valani?
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes.
Mrs. Beviano?
Yes.
Mrs. Birch?
Yes.
Ms. Slater?
Yes.
Mr. Walrath?
Yes.
Mr. Topolowski?
Yes.
Mrs. Hudak?
I vote yes on all except on number 22, Madam President. Management operations, Mrs. Slater.
There are 49 items under management and operations for approval. Items 1 amends board action on past management and operation reports. Item 2 is resignation of staff. Item 3 is the appointment of staff. Items 4, 5, 6 are the transfer of staff. Item 7 approves leaves of absences. Item 8 compensates staff for unused vacation days and sick days upon retirement as per negotiated contract. Items 9 authorize the superintendent to sign 2016 through 2017 memorandum of agreement between education and law enforcement officials. Items 10, 11, 12, 14 through 32, 41 through 43, 46, and 49 are the appointments of new staff. Items 13 approves musicians to accompany all middle school and high school concerts during the school year. Items 33 approve clubs at Linden High School. Items 34 approves the submission of the revised superintendent's merit goals for 2016 and 2017 school year to the executive county superintendent. Items 37 approves a volunteer instructor to assist in the schools. Items 38 approves a revised job description. Items 40 approves payment to a staff member for use of his CDL license for the 2016 and 2017 school year. Items 44, 45, and 48 are the reappointments of staff. Items 47 appoint students for part-time work to videotape Board of Education meetings and other assigned special projects. Madam President, I move management operation items 1 through 49 and respectfully ask for a second.
Second.
Discussion?
Roll call.
Mrs. Valani?
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes.
Mrs. Beviano?
Yes.
Mrs. Birch?
Yes.
Ms. Slater?
Yes.
Mr. Walrath?
Yes, I approve all. I abstain from number 7, Stephanie Webb, and number 29, Stacy Minuto.
Mr. Topolowski?
Yes.
Mrs. Hudak?
Yes. Support operations, Mr. Topolowski.
Thank you, Madam President. Sport Operations Committee, upon recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools and Business Administrative Board Secretary, presents the following 17 finance motions and 11 facilities motions to the Board of Education for approval. Items 1 through 6 are regular board business dealing with the acceptance of the Business Administrative Board Secretary certifications as of August 31st, 2016. No major account or fund has been overexpended. Board Secretary's reports for the month of August 2016. Authorizations for payments of salaries and supplemental payroll for September 2016. To draw warrants in the amounts of specified person's name, and a list of transfers and adjustments for the month of August. Item 7 is the Treasurer's Report for the month of August 2016. Item 8 is the Student Activities Report for Linden High School for the month of June 2016. Item 9 is to amend the June 28, 2016 Support Operations Finance Agenda, item number 21. Item 10 is to amend board actions on past support operations reports from February 1st, 2016, February 22nd, 2016, April 25th, May 24th, and August 24th, 2016. Item 11 is to accept funds from the IDEA grant for the 2017 fiscal year totaling $1,518,004. Item 12 is to accept funds from the State of New Jersey Department of Education for services under Chapter 192 and 193 for the period of July 1st, 2016 through June 30th, 2017, totaling $77,823. Item 13 is to accept additional proceeds from the Superintendent's Scholarship Dinner in the amount of $2,516.60 for the Danny Robertozzi Superintendent Scholarship Fund. Item 14 is to accept funds from Target Take Charge of Education program. Item 15 is to accept the donation of 20 Motorola HT1250 radios with accessories donated to Linden High School by the Linden Police Department. Item 16 is to approve payment in the amount of $4,745 to the Belton Group, Newark, New Jersey, for additional work and materials for the relocation of Special Services Office on August 9, 2016 and August 18, 2016. And item 17 is to authorize the Administrative Board Secretary to obtain evaluation analysis and appraisal from Appraisal Associates Inc., Cranford, New Jersey, on property lots 29.03 through 29.06, Block 198, for the purpose of construction of a parking lot for Saul Middle School. And the Facilities Report, item 1, is to amend board actions on support operations as listed. Items 2 through 11 are the use of facilities at no charge as requested by Elaine Horry, Principal in High School, Pete Fingerlin, Principal at McManus Middle School, Anthony Caroline, Principal of School 4, Michelle Rodriguez, Principal of School 8, Cindy Cognanes, Principal of School 10, T. Grissett, President, School 6 PTA, D. Hernandez, President, School 9 PTA, Al McDonald, Director of City of Linden, Department of Public Property and Community Services, J. Kajus, Athletic Director for St. John's Athletic Association, and R. Pendleton, Director of Helpers One to Another. Madam President, if there are no questions or further discussions, I move items 1 through 17 of the Finance Agenda and 1 through 11 of the Facilities Agenda for approval and respectfully seek a second.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call. Mrs. Valani?
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes.
Mrs. Beviano?
Yes.
Mrs. Birch?
Yes.
Mrs. Slater?
Yes, I abstain to number 10 where my name is mentioned.
Mr. Walker?
Yes, I abstain to number 10 where my name is mentioned.
Mr. Chapelowski?
Yes.
Mrs. Huda?
Yes.
Planning and Policy, Mrs. Valani?
The Planning and Policy Committee submits policies for the first and second readings to incorporate new features required by code and law and to elaborate on local district policies. For first readings, 2224, Non-Discrimination Affirmative Action. Added a section titled Comprehensive Equity Plan and expanded section titled School and Classroom Practices. For 111.1/4211.1, Non-Discrimination Affirmative Action. Edited first 3 sections to include assignment, transfer, and promotion. Added 3 sections, Affirmative Action Officer and Team, Employment and Contract Practices. expanded content under section sexual harassment, and revised whistleblower protection. 4113/4213, assignment transfer. Added the last sentence regarding non-discrimination. 4131/4131.1, staff development, in-service education, visitations, conferences. Policy was overhauled throughout to make it more consistent with NJAC 6A:9C. 5145.4, equal education opportunity. Edited the fourth paragraph in section harassment to include a sentence on victims. Revised and expanded the section equity in school to include more content on equity programs. Revised section on bias-related incidents to be more consistent with current law. 6121, non-discrimination affirmative action. Updated all the bulleted lists to be more consistent with current NJDOE administrative code and added a section on appeals. 6142.2, English as a second language bilingual programs. Policy was overhauled to be more consistent with NJAC 6A:15. 6142.12, career and technical education. Policy overhaul throughout to make more consistent with NJAC 6A:19. 6146.2, promotion and retention. The bullets were revised and content added regarding services to English language learners. 6164.2, guidance services. Added paragraph 2 regarding equitable access to guidance services. 6147, standards of proficiency. Added paragraphs 4 through 7 regarding the state assessment program, English language learners, and classified students. 6171.1, remedial education instruction. Added paragraph 4 regarding parent notification and other minor changes. 6171.2, gifted and talented. Last sentence was added regarding minority and female student representation. 6172, alternative educational programs. Added content in first section regarding determination to place a student in an alternative education program. Submitted for second reading. 4111, recruitment, selection, and hiring certified staff. Added equity in employment, revised content related to highly qualified, which is not part of ESSA, to reflect the state standards. Revised section on residency exceptions. 4211, recruitment, hiring, and selection non-certified staff. Added in equity in employment. 4231/4231.1, staff development, in-service education, visitations, conferences. Added a section on achievement gap and inequity. And finally, 5114, suspension and expulsion. Added minor amendments under implementation. Added content regarding ensuring that male and minority students are not disproportionately represented in detentions, suspensions, and expulsions required as part of the Comprehensive Equity Plan. Madam President, I move planning and policy items 1 and 2 and respectfully ask for a second.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Mrs. Valani?
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes.
Mrs. Fabiano?
Yes.
Mrs. Birch?
Yes.
Mrs. Slater?
Yes.
Mr. Woolridge?
Yes.
Mr. Tupoles?
Yes.
Mrs. Hudak?
Yes.
Reports of the special committee and delegates. State delegate, Mr. Tupoles.
Thank you, Madam President. A week ago, Saturday, we had a government relations meeting in Trenton. During that time, we discussed 6 bills which were signed into law that affect schools, 2 which were opposed by school boards and 4 which were supported by school boards. Also, the governor conditionally vetoed another bill asking for changes to the bill which were presented by school boards. So we do have some influence in how those things go on. They discussed the two funding proposals for schools. One which was presented by Steve Sweeney, Senate President, and one which was presented by Chris Christie, our President Governor. There was a bill, I believe it was passed for testing, lead testing and remediation, and the regulations that came out were very onerous. And the $10 million that they included won't cover what needs to be done. Also, the summer commissioner has to step down at the end of September. The acting commissioner is Kimberly Harrington. I believe I met her at a county meeting a year ago. She's a very nice lady. The State Board of Ed has adopted regulations phasing in park as a high school graduation requirement. And the new accountability regs, the present accountability regs sunset in November, and the readoption process is getting underway. So once those policies come out, that'll be a big deal. I will be meeting as county president at the school boards on this coming Saturday. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Topolesky. County delegate is me. Last Wednesday, we had a meeting, the Union County Association had a meeting at the Westwood. It was basically on communications in case of an emergency. It actually was a pretty good conversation because Roselle had issues which their board wanted to know how to handle it better. We went through a similar situation on Monday, and we were alerted, the board knew what was going on step by step. And what they did was discuss basically what a board member's obligation is to post into social media. Because if we give the wrong information, it could cause more turmoil. So we're better off giving the statements of the district and of the superintendent and sending out that information. As the parents were notified by the emergency system, we explained that the emergency systems were all activated. Parents were notified of the shelter in place throughout the time our children were in school, which we had explained. They were notified by email and cell phones. If you, for some reason, did not get a phone call or an email, please update that with your school because that's an important way for them to contact you if you didn't receive a phone call. And it's important that all those phone numbers are constantly updated. And it was a good heart-to-heart conversation, and especially with us, because we had gone through it. Am I correct, Mr. President?
Absolutely, absolutely.
And it was a good meeting. That's my report. Moving on now, educational services.
I passed that to...
Oh, Anthony, did you go? No, okay. Next month, we'll get it. EST for parents. Well, we did the students, but EST for parents is going to be when?
October 6th.
The first Thursday of every month, beginning October 6th at 6:30 p.m.
With the exception of...
With the exception of November, which will be the first Wednesday, November 2nd, I believe that is. This is your opportunity as parents to come talk to us on an informal basis. You can bring your concerns. There's no cameras. There's no administration. It's just a handful of us and you. So please come out. We have coffee. We have dessert. Come and talk to us.
Thank you. Was my report. EST for students.
Yes, thank you. Okay, so our first meeting with the student EST was September 21st at 1 p.m. in the high school library. Our advisors for the group are Mr. Fahey, Mrs. Lewis, and in attendance we had 7 girls, 2 boys. 2 were freshmen, we had 4 sophomores, 1 junior, and 2 seniors. Mr. Topolewski, Mrs. Hudak, and myself had the pleasure of sitting down with our high school students to listen to their concerns, as well as to listen to what they liked about some of the changes that have been made over the summer in our buildings. Each month we'll be doing this, and with the students as well as with the parents. So we hope to see the parents, and we're excited to talk with the students more. Some of the things, they had some concerns, and they had a couple IT concerns, which they said sometimes their laptops are not working at home, and they feel that sometimes when their laptops aren't working and Vanguard is fixing them, they have to get a loaner, and they feel there's not enough loaners when their laptops are being fixed. So those are some of their concerns for IT. They had some concerns about crossing the street in the time management of getting from one building to the next. There was also some lunchroom issues going on. We also visited the middle school lunchrooms, and we're going to be asking for another meeting with Pontonia to discuss those concerns. And they also had just a couple of housekeeping issues that we're working on. The doors in the boys' locker room. They were concerned with some of the paper towels and soap dispensers already not being filled, and some things like that. But overall, they were very happy. But I want to end with some of the positive things that they told us. They loved the new painted wall down by the gymnasium. They're very proud of the ceiling tiles that each of the students painted, and they're displayed through the hallways of the school. They also discussed with us the dress code. They said it's much easier for them. They said also the teachers go right into their lessons now. They don't waste time checking their clothing and sending students out of the classroom. Everybody's there, and everybody learns as soon as they walk into the classroom. So they're overall happy and content with it, and they said that for them it works. They're also excited that there's going to be TVs in the lunchroom so that they're able to watch CNN, and also the high school principal will be posting some things on there for them, as well as their, I think, Friday news, that they get that on there also. Thursday, October 13th is their homecoming dance, which is a new event being held for the students, and they're planning that along with the staff. So they're looking forward to having a wonderful evening. They would like to thank the maintenance department for installing the sanitary dispensers in the girls' bathrooms. Girls are a lot less stressed and more comfortable. That's about it. So our next meeting, we're proud of all the students. We tell them, you know, they tell us their concerns. They also tell us what they like and what they've seen change. And they realize that they have an active voice in our district, and they're really heard. So our next meeting is October 17th at 9:30 in the library at the high school. And that concludes my report, Madam President.
Thank you, Mrs. Birch. I would like to extend the ESTs down to the middle school and even the elementary, because the students really are quite honest, and they are willing to open up to let us know what they would like to say. So the next few weeks, figure out where we can all go with timing and everything else, so this way we can all participate and talk to the kids. Because I think it's important for us to reach out to all of them. And it's going to help us make better informed decisions. So I would like to do that. As far as EST for special education, I will get in contact with Mrs. Stefani to make sure that there is a meeting with the teacher. Is there any unfinished business before the board?
Time for comments? Okay.
Go ahead, board member comment.
Board member comments. All right. The one thing I wanted to comment about was the recent move by the State Board of Education to make the park a In 2020, it will be required that all students take the park, and in 2021, park will be required for graduation. And the reason I bring this up now is at the county board meeting, we happen to have present the president of the Board of Education for the state. And he presented an interesting scenario. And to me, it was very strange. He said, that's the plan for now. However, if they find things aren't working out with the test, they're always going to be able to go back and revisit it. And to me, it seemed very strange, one, why they would have approved it in the first place if that's how they felt. And two, maybe they're just waiting for a new governor. So, take that for what it's worth.
Thank you, Mr. Chapelleski. Anybody else? Mrs. Judge?
I just wanted to say welcome back to the parents and the students. I'm excited for the new year and all the great things that our students are going to be doing this year. I also wanted to take a minute to recognize one of our employees in the district. His name is Leighton Sams. He's a custodian over at school number 5. And I have to say, and I'm going to quote the movie Annie, School 5 shines like the top of the Chrysler building. He takes care of that building like it's his home. I commend him and appreciate everything that he does for the students in our building. Keep up the good work, Leighton. Thank you. That concludes my report.
I just want to extend a thank you to Dr. Amatozzi for his leadership in our moment of crisis and for keeping the board in the loop and getting the information out to the parents and the board in a timely fashion throughout the course of the day.
I do want to commend you on that, but I agree with Mrs. Valani. And we have there's a whole staff, principals and the entire staff. Awesome with all the children, took care of them, made them feel safe. So I have to tell you that I'm very proud of our district, along with the officers and the police force of the city of Columbia. So I'd like to thank all of you. I ask for any further comments? I ask for a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.